Community circles are a time when everyone is heard and listened to and they feel valued. Each person knows that they're going to be respected. Every person has a story to tell. Community circles have been the best part of my classroom. It's built strong relationships among my students, with me and my students. I've seen relationships build that you would never suspect would happen. So today, before we start our circle, we're going to go over one of the quotes that we were working on during Global Down Syndrome Day. And the quote was, "We're more alike than we are different." And you guys made these beautiful drawings about how we're more alike than we are different. Does anybody want to tell us what that means to them? Because it's something I want us to really focus on today during circle. Right. So you always want to start with an opening where you share an encouraging word or quote or a mindfulness activity, maybe 3 deep breaths or a singing bowl. And this brings everyone together. Okay, great. Anybody else? Jada.
It needs to treat everybody with kindness because we're all the same.
We're all the same? Okay. And last one, Brittany?
It's sort of like what Jada said, we should treat each other all with kindness because we all live on the same planet and we all can go through the same thing.
Yeah, we all have feelings, so we're more alike than we are different. So Miss Duff's gonna put these out in the middle today just for us to think about during our circle. Okay, let's see. I'm going to have someone bring the talking pieces. Aaron, can you bring the talking pieces out for us? Good job, being so careful. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, so before we get started, it's really important that we go over our guidelines. Can we share our guidelines? What are our circle guidelines? The circle guidelines need to be held sacred in the classroom and they must be followed and taken seriously in order for the kids to feel safe and like they can speak from their heart. So it's really important to go over those every time and ensure that they're followed. The guidelines are to speak from the heart. There's no need to rehearse, no need to be worried about what you're going to say, that they can feel comfortable in class. Listen from the heart, let go of judgments, and don't be afraid to share. Respect the talking piece. And the talking piece is something that symbolizes that it's your turn to speak, it's your turn to be heard, your turn to tell your story. I always bring in something that's special to me. So for instance, I have a rain stick that I like to bring in, and I talk to the kids about why this is important to me before I introduce that as a talking piece. And then it's something special to them. Jaden, nice and loud.
Listen from the heart.
Listen from the heart, right? We need to let go of judgments. Listen from the heart. Right? Everyone has the right to their opinion and their feelings. Another one, Dexter.
Respect the talking piece. Everybody listens, everybody has a turn.
Yeah, respect the talking piece. So whoever has the talking piece is the only person talking and everyone's listening to them. It's their chance to be heard. Titan.
Trust that you'll know what to say, no need to rehearse.
No need to rehearse. Like I said, when I was in elementary school, I was like, oh, I'm coming up in 3 more people. I'm so nervous. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? And I wasn't listening to anyone else. But in this classroom, it's a safe environment and we don't need to rehearse. We can trust that we know what to say. Molly.
Speak from the heart.
Speak from the heart. What is it, you guys?
Speak
from the heart, right? Speak your truth. Okay, and the last one, Aaron.
Say just enough without feeling the rest.
Yeah, we want to say just enough. We want to be able to speak, but we want to leave time for other people. Is there any other guidelines that you guys think are important that we should include in our circle today? Let's see, Brittany.
Don't be a follower. Like, if your best friend says my favorite color is blue, you don't have to say your favorite color is blue as well.
Yeah, you don't have to because you're able to be yourself. Speak from your heart. Tell your truth. You guys agree with that one? Yeah. Thumbs up if you want to add that guideline. You want to add that guideline, Dexter? Yeah? Okay. And another one? Okay, Titan?
No teasing because some people it takes a lot of courage to say something like when they're like a baby, like something kind of embarrassing. And it takes a lot of courage to say something like that.
It does take a lot of courage. Good. Okay, you guys want to agree with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get started, we're going to do a quick check-in. And you guys are going to hold up a number between 1 and 10. And we've done this before, right? A 1 means you're having a horrible horrible, no good, very Next, you want to do a check-in, or I like to call it a whip around because it's just really fast, and it's where you get to check the emotional state of your students. So maybe you want to ask them to hold up a finger of how they're feeling 1 through 10, or if they were a type of weather, what kind of weather would describe how they're feeling today. It's a really good time to see what your discussion question is going to be. Are you going to be able to ask a high-risk question today, or do you maybe need to go to a low-risk question? So a high-risk question is a question that would bring up a lot of emotions in a student and might be hard for them to share. Many of us don't think they're high-risk questions, but they actually are. So for instance, you might ask, how was your night last night? Well, that could be a really high-risk question for some students, so you have to keep that in mind. Or maybe share a special memory with your family from when you were little. That could also be a high-risk question. Okay. And I noticed some people put up a 2. Is there anyone who wants to share maybe how they're feeling today? Put up a 2? No? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna start our question today. And our discussion question today is going to be about empathy, because we've been learning a lot about empathy in second step. And we remember that empathy, the next step is you go into the discussion round where you ask your circle prompt, your question for the day. So for instance, I might feel really happy for someone when they score a soccer goal because I know how hard they've been working at it and it makes me feel so happy for them. Or I might feel sad for someone if I know they worked really hard to study their spelling words and they didn't do so great and I knew that they were bummed about that. I'd feel bad for them. So I'm feeling empathy for that person. So we're gonna go around today and we're gonna share a time when we felt empathy for someone. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of time to just sink in your heads right now. So let's put our thinking caps on. A time where you might have felt empathy for someone. Maybe you felt sad for them. Maybe you felt nervous. Maybe excited, overjoyed. Everybody's just thinking for a second. Good. So, we're gonna say, I felt empathy for someone when, and you're gonna talk about that feeling that you had. You're gonna talk about that feeling that you had, okay? So is there someone who'd like to start? I see lots of hands up, lots of people are ready today to share. Molly, why don't you grab a talking piece? And which way would you like to pass the talking piece?
This way.
That way? Okay. Remember to respect the talking piece, eyes watching.
The time I felt empathy was for my great grandma because her son got brain cancer and died before her, and she's really old and she doesn't remember a lot of things, and I felt really sad for her, and I think she doesn't know, and I think she would have felt really sad if she would not have known.
Thanks for sharing.
The time I felt empathy was for my grandpa when he had to get surgery, and I was really sad.
The time I felt empathy is when my sister's dog almost died.
The time I felt empathy was for when my friend was getting bullied, and she felt really sad, and I also felt sad for her.
Yeah, that is sad.
The time I felt empathy was for my grandpa when my great-grandma died, his mom, and I felt really sad for him.
The time I feel empathy is when my brother fought.
Okay, and David's gonna translate, go ahead.
Sentí mal cuando castigaron a David por 3 semanas. He said that he felt empathy for me when they got me in trouble for 30 days, and he felt sad for me. And I felt empathy for my mom when she got really sick because of her cough, and they had to attach or something to her, and I felt really worried about her.
I bet that is really worrisome. I felt empathy for my family when my dad was waiting for his test results to come back about his cancer diagnosis, and we didn't get good news. And I felt really sad for him because I know how hopeful we were.
A time I felt empathy was for my brother because we both entered a writing competition that 1,000 people entered, and he won 3rd place, and I felt happy for him. A time I felt empathy was for my dad because he got into a nursing school and he tried very hard to get in it, so I felt happy for him, and he felt happy too.
That's great.
The time I felt empathy was when my mom had to wait 2 years for my dad to come out, and he didn't for 2 weeks after.
So how'd you feel?
I felt sad too with her.
I felt empathy for my mom when her dad passed away, and I felt sad.
And when I felt empathy was when my sister's cat died, and she was really sad, and that made me really sad.
A time that I felt empathy is when my friend Henry's cat died when he got run over by a car. He was very sad, and I was sad too.
A time I felt empathy was when one of my soccer teammates scored their very first goal in a soccer match, so I felt very happy for them.
The time I felt empathy was when my friend's dog passed away, and he felt sad, and that made me sad too.
The time I felt empathy was for my sister when she was working really hard in the play, and she got the main part of Amy, and she was really happy, so I felt happy for her. The time I felt empathy is when my aunt didn't pass her driving lessons, so I felt sad and she felt sad.
The time I felt empathy is for my mom, because when my grandpa passed away and her dad, and I felt sad for her.
The time I felt empathy is when my brother got a new car, and I felt happy for him.
Thank you guys for sharing, and that just reminded me that we all in this class have felt empathy for someone, right? And that makes me realize that we're more alike than we are different, right? And so we can bring it back to the quote that we were talking about, how we're more alike than we are different. And that was really beautiful, and I'm proud of you guys for sharing, so thank you. And we're gonna do a quick closing. And lastly, you wanna finish with a checkout or a closing where you acknowledge the work that's done in the circle, the relationships that were built, and it's just a fun time for everyone to feel together again. So we are gonna go around and we are gonna do 1, 2, 3 with eye contact and clapping. You guys think you can do that?
Yeah.
The eye contact's really important, right? And your partner wants to see that beautiful smile. So here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Teamwork.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Good job, you guys. Thanks for sharing.
I like about community circle is that you can share what you're feeling and no one will make fun of you.
Community circle made me feel good, and it helped me express my feelings to other people, because I don't really do that often, but community circle helped me just start sharing my feelings.